Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests and valued participants. Um, Richard Rich, Executive Director of Risk Management here at Access Bank PLC. It is with great excitement that I welcome you to the sixth edition of the Ecosystem Roundtable Talk, brought to you by African FinTech Foundry in partnership with Access Bank. Today, I am honored to be here with you as we dive into the dynamic landscape of technology with Nigeria and across Africa. African FinTech Foundry stands at the forefront of providing true leadership with the technology ecosystem, actively nurturing an environment. Thank you. Thank you.
So another failed test case. I did not come up on time. A video should have been played automatically as soon as it was done, and I wasted time to come in. There could be network issues that could prevent me from coming, and a video should have popped up as soon as Tobicho put off his video and stopped talking. That is another case that has been failed. So do you see what I said? I want to be in this dry room to see exactly what you said you tested.
Yes, boss.
Okay, so let's fix that, right? Let's run that back again. Let's assume he just put off his video and camera. Let's do the right thing. That should come up immediately after, as the host is struggling to get on board.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests and valued participants. Richard Rich, Executive Director of Risk Management here at Access Bank PLC. Thank you.
Now, what's the difference? The difference is basically because one has been supported and the other has not been supported. But generally speaking, I think that there are a lot of startups, and I mean, with a hub like AFF, a lot of startups will be willing to actually go into business knowing fully well that they will be supported by us.
Everybody is struggling with payment and looking for a new payment idea, and how, meanwhile, there's so much more that could be done in terms of social entrepreneurship. You have in the US a startup that is like an Uber for ambulances, but you don't have that here in this country. So what you have, which people don't really know much about, is there is a logistic company that delivers blood banks for hospitals, and that is big. But we don't have people doing that. You have people competing for payment, for e-commerce. Meanwhile, there's so many other things you can be doing: financial management, financial planning. I feel like in this country we're doing about 20% on the startup ecosystem, and I feel there's so much more that can be done.
Home to over 300 fintech startups with billions of dollars, Africa is on the rise.
As much as fintech is about technology, that technology has to work within the rules of the game to make sense.
The Big Tech Show travels across Africa on the quest to meet the minds at the forefront of these tech innovations.
This is the fourth revolution that Africans are participating in, solving unique problems in Africa for Africans.
Join us on our journey across Africa as we talk to innovators and game changers in Africa's tech industry.
Human-centered design methodology is really where you start with the end user in mind.
Spending time solving that problem that's bigger than yourself.
The Big Tech Show is brought to you by the African FinTech Foundry and Accelerate TV, powered by Access Bank.
Hi guys, it's Benjamin Dada here, and this is the Big Tech Show.
And I think I've seen a lot of nice apps, you understand? But of course, at the moment, I don't think there's any app that is better than the Access Bank Access More app. I mean, not because there is a kind of relationship with Access Bank, but the thinking, the technology, the engineering, you understand, the experience behind it. It's just something that we probably spend the best of time to look at. The biggest opportunity in Nigeria is still something that we've not even discovered.
True.
So we see the likes of Paystack.
Hello, and thank you guys for coming back. It's been a wonderful, insightful session so far. We're super, super excited. I mean, we're just kind of running through a variety of the things that we do here in Africa Tech Foundry. Big Tech is one of those things that we've done. And, to continue on that journey, we very much like for you guys to join us. You can partner with us on that. It's something that we continue doing. We love to innovate to Innovation Hub anyway. So just to move on, now we're going to the most interesting section that we've been anticipating and talking about since, and that's the panelist conversations. And we're going to call on the panelists just to come on board and also give their, and I'm moving on to the moderator. The moderator being Botemi, who will just take us through, introduce the speakers, ask the questions, and after that, you guys should make sure you use the chat section, make sure you use the Q&A. We'll be basically giving your questions to the moderator to ask as well. And just guys, communicate, converse as well with the panelists as you're speaking. All right, handing over to Botemi now to take over. Super excited for the session.
Good afternoon, everyone, and then welcome to this panel section. In this panel section, we'll be having Tobechukwu, we'll be having Carolina as well, who will be taking us through ESG and the benefit it has to the economy, the continent, and the world at large. Please sit tight because we are about to hear from great leaders in the world who are expert in these topics. They will be walking us through with their experience and their years of working on ESG and sustainability as a whole. So I would like all our panelists to kindly switch on their camera as we're about to begin the panel section. Yeah, sorry for the break. So now that we've introduced the panelists, we'll be asking our first question. The first question is to you, Tobechukwu. How has been your stay here in AFF?
I've been here for about 2 months, and what I can say about AFF is that it's very it has been a lively experience through my 2 months here, and I've learned a lot.
Okay, over to you, Carolina. How has been your stay here in AFF?
Great.
Okay, so let's go on a short break and then we'll continue shortly. Okay. Share my screen. You can see it was not clear. Emma,
Yeah.
can we do this section again, this panelist section again? From the top of, okay.
Yeah.
We are thinking of running the whole program again from the beginning to the end.
All right.
Okay.
Now,
Thank
do you
you.
see the issues I picked up on? The idea of videos is meant to be a filler, right? So that if there is any break at all, say for example, they take the lights and everybody disconnected except you, your video comes in immediately and it's a filler. Everybody's seeing video. Do you understand? As against a blank spot and a buffer. For example, the host network is not good, there's a buffer, you put a video on to cut that host off, and you contact the person and look, your network is not good, fix it, and then come back on board. So that's the point of video. You cannot wait and just be there. And then once the person is meant to put on their video, you stop the video, you stop the thing that's playing, and then you spotlight them. You make sure you spotlight them. So that's the whole point, like, of managing a platform. That managing the platform is it's very, very important because that can make or break the program. Do you understand? You need to make sure that the flow is smooth and seamless and there are no issues whatsoever. So I'm happy with it being run over from the beginning as they were joining in. That's fine. We can do that again just to be sure that it's open and fine. But
So
I
I'll
will
be
not
playing
go.
the video.
Somebody else will come in as host. Who's going to host amongst of you? I will just watch and ensure that the thing is run smoothly. Let Carolina host.
Okay.
What's your
Okay, Emma, we're about to start now. So I'll be playing video first, and then Carolina will come in shortly.
Go ahead and start again, but I would have expected from my conversation, and once you're having a whatever arrangements discussion with Carolina, that a filler video would have started before 10. Do you understand? So again, it failed on the first one. Filler video should be playing automatically whilst whatever decision is being made in the background before you say, oh, we're about to start. As you know, because obviously I'm being the guest here now attending. So I'm just here looking at Africa FinTech Foundry. There's no filler video, there's nothing, absolutely nothing. So I don't know if the program is even holding, I could drop off.
Basically, because one has been supported and the other has not been supported. But generally speaking, I think that there are a lot of startups.
Is this event
idea and how, meanwhile, there's so much more that could be done in terms of social entrepreneurship. You have in the US a startup that is like an Uber for ambulances, but you don't have that here in this country. So what you have, which people don't really know much about, is there is a logistic company that delivers blood banks for hospitals, and that is big, but we don't have people doing that. You have people competing for payment, for e-commerce. Meanwhile, there's so many other things you can be doing: financial management, financial planning. I feel like in this country we're doing about 20% on the startup ecosystem, and I feel there's so much more that can be done.
Home to over 300 fintech startups with billions of dollars, Africa is on the rise.
As much as fintech is about technology, that technology has to work within the rules of the game to make sense.
The Big Tech Show travels across Africa on the quest to meet the minds at the forefront of these tech innovations.
This is the fourth revolution that Africans are participating in, solving unique problems in Africa for Africans.
Join us on our journey across Africa as we talk to innovators and game changers in Africa's tech industry.
Human-centered design methodology is really where you start with the end user in mind.
Spending time solving that problem that's bigger than yourself.
The Big Tech Show is brought to you by the
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining.
Hi guys, it's Benjamin Dada here, and this is the Big Tech Show.
And I think I've seen a lot of nice apps, you understand? But of course, at the moment, I don't think there's any app that is better than the Access Bank Access More app. I mean, not because there's a kind of relationship with Access Bank, but the thinking, the technology, the engineering, you understand, the experience behind it. It's just something that we probably spend the best of time to look at. The biggest opportunity in Nigeria is still something that we've not even discovered.
True.
So we see the likes of Paystack, with about $200 million investment.
So at the AI Startup Lab, Yaba will bring ideas to life by embedding the capability of AI with world-class business mindset. And in doing that, will make serious impact socioeconomically. And indeed, the prediction that by 2030, AI will have added $16 trillion to world economy. A share of that can be in Nigeria. And that is our dream, and that is our passion. Thank you.
We're in a very, very unique position in Nigeria right now from a technology perspective. I was saying earlier on in a different talk that, we say we're in the fourth industrial revolution right now, or the tail end of the fourth industrial revolution. And if you look at Africa as a whole, what happened to us in the first, second, and third industrial revolution? Cake. In terms of talent. So when we talk about baking a bigger cake, what we're talking about is increasing that talent pool. So that means that, organizations that are really serious about digitalization, have to not just think about themselves. They have to think about the wide.
Hello, everyone.
I think that way.
More than you need So for us really in FinTech NGR, that's FinTech Nigeria, our role is to grow a bigger ecosystem that collaborates and promotes, that FinTech industry within the country.
Looking at the country, the continent, and having the opportunity to experience payments in the UK especially, felt that perhaps Nigeria deserved better. So I started thinking about this whole idea of retail payments. I'm an engineer by training, never done banking, never done payments. But I could tell by going to the bank, then starting the queue, getting tally numbers, queuing up to get cash.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in. Welcome to AFF's Ecosystem Roundtable 6.0. In comment section, just let me know where you're joining in from, your name, let's keep the comment section lively. I'll start in a second. Super excited to be here. Super excited to be hosting this. Oh, you're joining in from the UK. Fantastic, fantastic. Let comments keep rolling. Let's know where you're joining us from. Okay, just looking out for more. Welcome, everyone. So to begin, we'll just start with the welcome address to be given by Mr. Botemi Awotudun. He's a key driver of sustainability in Africa. And so let's make welcome Botemi Awotudun.
Thank you very much, Carolina, for that brief introduction. Like I said, I'm not a key sustainable ESG sustainable. I'm an expert in that. Okay, good morning, everyone, and thank you. My name is Mr. Botemi, and I am joining you from Kelewe Sustainable Farm. So it is with great excitement that I joined you guys today, and I'm happy to be here. Sustainability is one of the things that Africa itself has to really take serious at this point. We have to pioneer it, and then so that is the end. Thank you. Over to you, Carolina.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Botemi. That was very, very profound. I'm sure we learned one or two things from that session. So just put in the comment section what stood out from you from Mr. Botemi's speech, and we'll just head over now to the keynote address, which will be given by Dr. Akubweze Ukichukwu. Hello, Doctor.
Everything I have, everything I was on a basis. Not peaceful. That's 70% of the planet and it's in your guinea is your thoughts. But if you're sick to that, I will 70%.
So nice to have you here.
So please bear this. Just what you're see what impression. And that was the exercise. It's kind of just explanation into what is the reasoning for this data that we meta can make it itself from past use.
Sorry, am I the only one? I can't hear him.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Kubrizi. That was such a profound speech. We'll be heading over to the panel session now in a few minutes. So please just keep the comment section lively, network as much as you can, ask your questions, and we'll be starting panel session very soon. I'm trying to check the comments section if there are any comments or any questions. So like I said, network, relax, enjoy as we learn and drive sustainability together. But I mean, there's no audio. I have to redo this part. Can you hear me? There's no audio.
Is the audio? Can you hear me?
Nope, no audio.
A lot of our work, I say a lot of our work is up here. And
Close that. Can you hear me?
it's kind of true, right?
Our secret.
Either